Dude, we're in the car. We're about to go see Black Panther.
We're literally about to walk in to Wakanda.
Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin.
I'm the Cholo Nerd.
And I got what I wanted and more out of that movie. How about you?
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. That movie was just fantastic.
Oh, it was great. Oh,
Gosh.
I freaking loved it.
Oh, it's hard to even figure out where to begin. And I was like somewhere in the middle of the movie, overwhelmed, like, this is all so good. Where am I even going to start with this?
That was my whole thing exactly. We're driving back from the movie, and I was thinking, there's so much to this movie. It's so good. It's different than any other movie, any other Marvel movie.
Yeah, which was really good because you and I both walked out of Thor Ragnarok disappointed. That they took like this Guardians of the Galaxy over-the-top comedy formula, which works for Guardians of the Galaxy, and then put that to Thor, and it was just like, oh,
it wasn't the same.
That didn't really work that well for Thor. I mean, it was funny, but it just didn't. Point is like we were like, okay, what are they going to do with Black Panther?
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Black Panther was awesome, especially because this is just the first movie that we see of him.
Yeah.
And the introduction to Wakanda, the technology.
Oh, man.
Which you know is only going to get better because it gets better and better through time.
Yeah.
And so, oh boy, I'm excited.
Oh, I'm excited too. Yeah, I'm super excited about all the stuff they had with Wakanda, what they did with the technology, and how they... I told you in the car ride home, I felt like I was watching Star Trek. Like, whenever we were in Wakanda, with all the technology, only it was like better technology than Star Trek.
Yeah. I had the same feeling of the Star Trek, and then one thing I do love is that spaceship and how it flies. Well, I don't even know what you call it a spaceship.
I wouldn't call it a spaceship. It's just their ship.
Their ship flies. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they just wear the bracelets, and the general's just sitting there like meditating and like flying the ship with their mind because such is the technology. And I'm just like, oh man, like that stuff is the dream. Yeah. No buttons to push, no complicated stuff. It just reacts to what you're thinking. So I guess you got to have a good mind, because if you really do think negatively while flying that thing, I can only imagine how bad that would be.
Yeah, what if the side door's open?
No!
Well, that's what happened. We all died.
You know what really impressed me about this, though, is... And we were talking about this with our group that was there tonight, too. Like, the story was so good. Like, as far as all the Marvel movies go, this one was really good. And one of my favorite things about the story is, like, the deep philosophical question that it raised. Because you have Wakanda hiding in the shadows, and they are this super technological society. I mean, Everett Ross gets fatally shot, and they fix him in less than a day, and he's like perfectly fine. Their technology is insane, and so it's like, I get why they want to hide, because the world is evil, and the world would exploit and pervert that technology to the most extreme. Like, you know it, I know it, we live in an evil world. But my gosh, they could cure cancer. They could take a fatal gunshot wound and heal it in a day. And it's like, share that we want that.
And I love that part where Everett Ross wakes up after he got shot and he goes, how long have I been here? And they're like, or when was I shot or whatever? She's like, yesterday.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. And she's like, I healed you with vibranium. And he's like it didn't compute to him. Like, no, you get shot right through. It takes forever to heal. That's just how the body works, you know.
And here he was healed the next day.
The next day.
Walking around without soreness. Yeah. It was incredible. So I loved that, and I loved the philosophical question it raised, and I loved the story of Killmonger, Michael B. Jordan.
Yes.
And so we've heard it complained a lot that Marvel villains are not so strong. I think the Marvel villain in this is freaking strong.
Yeah, he's very strong.
They gave Killmonger an amazing backstory, an amazing reason for why he's doing what he's doing. They made you understand why he's doing it, so you felt sympathetic toward him. They also, like, made him an absolute evil jerk face, so you really hated him, because I really hated him.
Yeah.
And then they bring it back full circle, and you feel bad for him again at the end.
Exactly. It all just tied around.
Yeah.
He literally had a similar story to T'Challa. What I liked about it is when they were fighting, he mentions that the world took his father away. Well, if you think about it, yes, the same thing happened to T'Challa.
Yeah, in the last movie, Civil War.
And that whole plot was just to get the Avengers to fight against each other.
Yeah. And
So his
T'Challa's
dad
plot,
was an
he didn't care
innocent
about
guy.
the Avengers. T'Challa wanted vengeance for the death of his father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like real similar.
So when King T'Chaka came and killed his brother, which makes Killmonger the cousin of T'Challa. So when King T'Chaka came and killed his own brother, that was a sin right there.
Yeah.
And not only was that a sin, it was the sin for him to leave his nephew. Like,
Yeah.
he created, like in Iron Man 3, where Iron Man goes through the whole thing of you create your own demons, I was thinking that right there in that scene, T'Chaka created that threat to Wakanda
Yeah.
right there by leaving his nephew in this poverty, by leaving, not only him, leaving him in poverty, but leaving him impoverished in pain with the death of his father, of the one person that's supposed to take care of him.
And I had the similar thought. That movie, kind of going back to what you said about Wakanda hiding, like, what I loved is that they were in a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it looked like a mountain. Then you drive through the mountain, and it's like, oh,
Yep.
this is it. This is Wakanda. Wow. But how you made the point, like, you can see the side, you can see both sides, kind of like Civil War.
Yeah.
You see Captain America's side, you see Iron Man's side. And we get to see that on this, too. That it was brought up several times that we should share our resources with
Yes.
the world. We can change the world. And then he's also saying, but if we do that, evil people will try to come and get it.
Yeah.
And
And their way of life would be over.
And their way of life would be
Yeah.
over. And then you think about Iron Man. He created his weapons to save America, to keep America safe.
Yep.
Other people started planning. Things were being shipped to the wrong places. You know, they were
Yep.
the dark side. Evil came.
They were dealing under the table.
And they were dealing under the table, and bad things were starting to happen. They were using his technology against him. And so you can see that argument.
Yeah.
But then you see the other side of it, where you can heal people.
You can cure
in a
freaking
day.
cancer. You can
you
cure cancer.
Meaning, like, dude, boom, I got shot. Let's fix that up tomorrow. You're going to walk this off. Bosses would love that.
Yes,
You
they would.
Oh, you got stabbed? Guess what? You're still coming into work tomorrow. You know, it's like, that's exactly why.
You're at work, no workers' comp. You drop a huge box, breaks your back, just go in, get a little vibranium, boom, go
you're
back
good.
to work.
Dang it, my boss is going to love that because now I have no excuse to not show up to work. But, like, I love that, though. Like, you see both sides and
Yeah.
you hear the argument on both sides. And then when Killmonger shows up, and he shows up to the right doorstep
Oh, man.
and brings him Ulysses Claw. All he wanted was vengeance of his father, and he wanted Claw dead, and he wanted to see his dead body.
Yep.
And he gave him that, something T'Challa and T'Chaka couldn't do, and he instantly turned sides. He even turned against his own wife for a minute.
You don't turn against your wife.
No!
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy life.
Oh, my gosh. What was that dude's name? I forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a powerful moment because it's like you have Killmonger showing up and he's trying to provide what, you know, the kings of the past have not been able to provide. He shows up with the good idea of, hey, you know, we can't hide in the shadows.
Yeah.
But he's so embittered by his time in darkness, and he's let the darkness just define him. Rather than fighting to overcome, or even fighting to come to Wakanda to plead, share your technology.
Yeah.
No, he came to conquer and be a conqueror, and then conquer the way he felt he was conquered. So he said, I learned from my enemies, but as T'Challa points out, he became his enemies. He became the thing he hated, because that's what bitterness, that's what unforgiveness, that's what hatred, I mean, no matter what pain causes it to sit there and just simmer in bitterness, that's what it's going to do. He turned into his enemy. But it was just so interesting because I thought it was awesome to see T'Challa have to weigh that out.
Yeah.
Whereas at the beginning of this movie, you know, it was T'Challa's girl that's like, you know, we could heal the world. And T'Challa's like, well, we got to protect our way of life.
Yeah.
We get to the end of this and he sees his father's sins. He sees what his father's sins have created, that you reap what you sow. Eventually, as we learn in Doctor Strange, the bill comes due.
Yeah.
So when T'Challa goes to the plane of his
Love that
ancestors,
reference?
yeah,
The bill always comes.
the bill always comes due. And then when T'Challa faced his father on the ancestral plane the second time, he said, no, I'm not going to rest now because I have to undo the mess that you have created. We have hid in the shadows too long, and we can change the world for good. And it was awesome to see that because he had the same journey of bitterness, though shorter, as Killmonger. and he overcame his bitterness and was able to look at the bigger picture. And in overcoming that, he comes back this like wise king. And it's like, I don't know, it's so good.
And it just hit me. How does this tie into the Infinity War? I know exactly how now.
Tell me how it ties in.
So on the after credit scene, not the Bucky Barnes one, but the first one, the mid credit scene.
Okay.
They show him in a press conference, and the guy goes, "Well, how is Wakanda going to be able to help us or whatever?" Something based on that line, and he like smiles. He's letting people in, and what do we see on the Infinity War trailer? They're coming for Wakanda. So Wakanda is no longer hidden.
Yeah.
Thanos, who's already coming for the Infinity Stones here.
Yeah.
Nano's vibranium has been hidden there for centuries. And they didn't just say it was the most subsidal thing on Earth, but they said in the universe, in the beginning of the movie.
Oh,
so it isn't just something that, it's just great, it's a small piece of technology for the Earth. No,
this
the
thing's
universe
huge.
is going to want to get their hands on this.
Yeah.
It is a huge piece of technology. So it makes sense why there's a battle for Wakanda now.
Yeah.
Because he
opened the
the
doors.
door.
Now they all know it's there. This is the source of vibranium. And I thought that was really interesting because, knowing we were going into this movie in Age of Ultron, how did Ulysses Klaue have all that vibranium? Well, then you have the flashback in this movie to 1992 where King T'Chaka's brother helped Ulysses Klaue get into Wakanda, take that vibranium, and was helping him sell it. Did he help him take it? Well, he's helping him sell it one way or the other.
Stole, was it a quarter ton of vibranium?
A quarter ton. And I think that was still the quarter ton he was using in Age of Ultron. Like, he hadn't run out, so he was still selling that stuff off. And so...
Yeah, he's totally selling it, because it was in a big ship.
Yeah.
That's just sitting off the coast of Africa. South Africa.
Yeah, and so, that was so cool. And so it's like, okay, that was a really cool connection to make. My one disappointment, and I guess I can't say it's a disappointment, because it worked well with the story. The death of Ulysses Klaue.
Yeah, it came quick.
Because Andy Serkis was so crazy. He was awesome in that role.
Because you kind of seen him in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Where they're trying to interrogate him, and you don't get to see the full craziness. You get a little taste of it when he's like, if you're going to interrogate me, you need to show me something big. We're all scared of something. Cuttlefish.
Yes.
He's like wah, wah. Like, you get to see a little bit, but this whole time, you got to see the full craziness of it.
Oh, man.
And he lives for it.
Dude, anytime he was in trouble, he was just laughing. Yeah. Like, it was a good time. And so, when they killed him, it was a huge shock. Yeah. I was really sad because I really liked Andy Serkis in that role. And so while, that's kind of a negative for me, I can't keep it at a negative because it fit the story. It was necessary. Yeah. And it was the very thing that brought Killmonger through the borders and won over the trust of the other tribe guy, like you were talking about, of that whole tribe. Yeah. Their trust was won over by Killmonger bringing in the body of Klaue, who T'Chaka was never able to bring in, who T'Challa tried to bring in once and failed. And so both kings couldn't bring in this guy that blew up a huge chunk of the borders and killed families. It's like...
And T'Challa underestimated him.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to bring this guy, no problem.
Yep.
And he didn't anticipate help.
Yep.
He had help. And what is the deal with that royal ring?
Oh my gosh.
I brought that up after the movie. I was like... They keep showing the ring, and I know it has significance. I haven't read anything in the comic books that shows significance to it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Doesn't mean they're using something else of significance and just using it as a ring form because the movies do their own thing.
Yep.
But we got to see it in there. It helped defend Killmonger when he attacked him, and boom, it just shot him back. It shot Black Panther back, and I was like, okay, we saw that.
Was it that, or was he wearing an invisible suit getting the kinetic energy?
He didn't have a suit yet.
He did not have a suit yet.
He didn't get the suit.
So it was the ring then.
They showed that suit as the middle one.
Right.
It had the gold
That's
on it.
right, it was.
And he was looking at it, and he's like, and he was thinking about it, but then he saw the third one.
Yep.
And
more discreet.
And then you see in Civil War, where he grabs Bucky's arm, and he twists the metal arm, and he goes to grab it, and his ring... There's something going on.
There was a reaction with the ring because Bucky and him both looked at the metal arm and looked at the ring and looked at each other.
And then that's when he flips him and then boom, kicks him and then he disappears.
And we never got deeper into that yet.
No.
So they're saving some mystery.
there's some mystery there, and I wonder what it was, because that caught my attention in Civil War instantly. I was like, it stuck with me. I was like, what? What is with that ring? What is the deal with that royal ring? And I want one. And you know what else I want?
What?
I want a pair of sneakers. Completely
Yes.
silent. You
Yes.
cannot hear them step.
No.
They're sneak.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That was such a great pun.
Yes, it was. I love it.
Don't freeze.
I never freeze.
He freezes. But now we know why he
And they make a
freezes.
good running gag.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now we know why he freezes.
Well, it was his girl.
It was a girl.
It was a girl. They were together. They broke up. They end up together.
He still had feels.
Yes. Yeah. No, that whole thing was done so well. They did the love story where it wasn't soap opera-y, and it was really good and solid. They had humor in just the right places, and the jokes were hilarious. And then the action, the musical score, everything that they did in this movie was so good. You mentioned in the car, like, you wish there was more fighting, but the story was so good you didn't care.
Yeah. I love the culture.
The culture was
The
awesome.
music, the culture. You just felt like you were a part of it the whole time.
Man.
Like, you just like everybody's standing there doing this little bounce thing, and the whole time I was like doing my little bounce thing too. It was like, I love it. Like you're totally like just immersed in the culture. And it was great.
Yep. I'm actually a little jealous of Bucky and Captain America that get to live there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My favorite part too is that when on the final credit scene and Bucky comes out when he's still missing his arm, and you in the bottom they're calling him White Wolf, and it instantly reminded me of Ace Ventura, White Devil, White Devil. And I was just waiting.
No.
Oh! But
Oh no.
and it was funny before the end credit scene. I was like, I hope they have Bucky, but I was thinking in a different way that they unfroze him and woke him up and was like,
Yeah.
we gotta go. Like I was hoping for something like that, but I was still happy that Bucky's awake. And he seems like he's doing all right.
Yeah.
Because he might be the next Captain America. So
Oh,
just
he
saying,
might be.
we need
He might be. We'll see when we get to this Infinity
Yeah.
War stuff here.
So we need his mind healthy.
Yeah, we do. We need his mind healthy. Well, what is your grade for this movie? What would you give it?
I'm giving it an A+.
Yep.
I had so much fun. The storyline was solid. You love Black Panther, T'Challa more, his character more. I love the supporting cast. I love everything about the movie. It was great. It was absolutely great.
Same reason. I have to give it an A+. As far as Marvel movies go, this was the most awesome story we've gotten. I mean, not that other stories have been bad for Marvel,
Yeah.
but this is the most awesome actual plot story we've gotten. Fantastic villain where, like, you feel bad for him, you absolutely hate him, and then you feel bad for him. The way the movie was just able to carry you on that, like you said, bring you into the culture so you feel like you're like there and you're part of that culture.
You want to bang on drums.
I want to bang on drums. I want to dance.
And what I love it set the standard. You could tell this is like the beginning of the new phase.
Yes.
Because now everything's going to change.
Yes. I mean, Wakanda's going to share their technology. Everything's going to change. So, while everything changes, what did you think of Black Panther? Let us know in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian and hit the bell next to that button. That way you'll I forgot what I was saying in the middle of saying it. Well, hit the bell so you're notified the moment I drop new videos so you can get more movie reviews and theological analyses and ranking videos and other awesome things. I'm Durbin.
I'm the Cholo Nerd.
Thanks for checking out Durbania.